Do not let the critics dissuade you. This was a good, fun movie. It is hard to top the first Jurassic Park. You know why? Because I was in high school. I think I was a sophomore or a junior when the first Jurassic Park came out. And let me tell you, the place was packed. It was full of parents and little kids. Okay, because to a little kid, dinosaurs are the coolest thing next to robots. Robots and dinosaurs, for most little boys, kids basically, are the bee's knees. Jurassic Park, the first one, when the T-Rex was trying to eat the kids out the Ford Explorer, these kids were crying. Do you understand? These kids were terrified. The parents had to take their children out of the theaters. The parents were so upset, right? They tried to protest and file petitions. Now, mind you, this is back in 1990, I don't know, 91. So there was no social media. These parents were so upset at the trauma these children witnessed on screen of a giant T-Rex trying to eat children. You can never top that. Okay? Them white folk were pissed. These children were traumatized. There was no, Timmy, it's not real. Timmy is bawling his eyes out. These kids will never look at a T-Rex the same. Do you understand? You cannot recapture that. You cannot recap. You can't top that. You can't. You can't. No, that was lightning in a bottle. But for those that are old enough, to be there, you had to be there. Okay, children, toddlers, horrified, crying, bawling their eyes out. All right, 93. Thank you. Y'all don't understand. You had to be there. All right, and even I was like, God damn, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, Spielberg? What are we doing? Yet you had to be there. I've never been to a movie where I've openly seen. Okay, I've seen children cry when Mufasa died. I've seen children cry over Casper, but Jurassic Park, kids, these kids had bad dreams after that movie. You know what I'm saying? When the T-Rex came on the top of it and is picking the truck apart and it's spinning around, and the girl was like, ah! And the kids were just like, oh my God, mother! These kids were horrified. Okay? Now, so let's get raptors are now domesticated. Well, not so much. They've been weaponized. But anything, I mean, you can weaponize anything at this point. So are we not surprised that when, what's her name? I think her character's name was Sasha. So they took some raptors and they weaponized the raptors with signals to the brain, right? And she would point a laser at the target and would send the raptors after whoever the laser was pointed at. So it was, but there's deeper stuff to it. So let me get to my notes real quick. Yes, spoilers. Come on, y'all. Y'all know how I do. Let's not act like you're brand new over here. I spoil shit. Now let's get into the points that I took away from the movie. Okay. So the little girl, what the fuck was her name? Charlotte, right? Or no? What was the little white girl's name? The little clone girl? She's cloned. Now, mind you, y'all forget she's cloned. She's cloned. No, people, the choices were Aquila and the Bee, Hidden Figures, or What's Love Got to Do with It. Those were her options to pick to answer the question. Stop giving me other movies featuring horrible black women characters. Stop. Now, getting back to Jurassic World Dominion, the little girl's character, I forget her name, right? She's cloned. She's a cloned granddaughter of the owner of the original Jurassic Park, if you've been keeping up with this trilogy. Okay. The little white girl, the little clone white girl, is the white version of Henrietta Lacks. If you paid attention to the actual plot of it, see, the dinosaurs were just a distraction. The original plot was Dotson. So if you got to go back to the first Jurassic Park 30 years ago, when the fat white scientist had the Barbasol can and gave the DNA samples to the other white dude Dotson, it's him in this one. So he's like a Tim Cook Monsanto CEO type of guy. He's turned into that shit. Okay, when was she cloned? The last movie, Jurassic World. This trilogy, it was the last one. Yeah, y'all not keeping up with the series, huh? So the last Jurassic Park, the grandfather cloned her, his daughter, her, whatever the case may be, and she was the one that let the dinosaurs out at the end of that last movie. This is how the dinosaurs end up pretty much all over the world at this point, because the little girl, that's how the dinosaurs had a connection with the girl, because they all understood they're not their original self. They're all cloned or subjects of cloning, and that's why they kind of understood the little white girl at the end of the last movie. Okay, so now we fast forward. What's her name? Maisie. Her name's Maisie, right? So Chris Pratt character and Bryce Dallas, they are like her surrogate parents. All right. So oh Lord, y'all gonna get. She's the Henrietta Lacks. So the original plot was Dotson created genetically cloned locusts, right? He created these super hybrid locusts to basically eat all of the food, to create a scarcity problem, right? That way they'd be forced to consume only what's the name of the company? Biogen. Only there, it's Monsanto, right? They only eat the crops that were non-GMO engineered. So in the opening scene, when the locusts eat all the crops of the one farmer and they attack the little kids in the barn, the little kids catch one, and then Laura Dern, her character, shows up. She's like, well, whose farm is over there? And she's like, oh, that's them. They used Biogen seeds. They didn't eat the GMOs, right? They didn't eat the GMOs. They eat the fresh, the regular stuff, right? The non-GMO food, whatever, wheat and stuff like that. So they're spread all over the country, all through the Midwest. That's the original plot. That Dotson created these genetically mutated super locusts to create a global famine, so he could control the marketplace on basically who can eat what. That's the original premise of Jurassic World Dominion. Maisie figures in because Maisie, the way she was cloned towards the end of the movie, she watched videos of her mother. Originally, her mother was pregnant with Maisie. The baby died of a genetic disorder. The mother, Charlotte, figured out a way to clone Maisie and get rid of the genetic defects. Maisie is the key for Dr. Wu to create another version of the locust to kill the super locust. Jeez. So the little white girl is the key to all this shit. She is the European version of Henrietta Lacks. Okay. Shit, man, if you know what I'm saying, it's crazy. It was crazy, right? Very biblical, very prophetic. And then the one part with I don't think anybody caught was with the sister, Kaylee, the pilot, the black woman, right? I can tell when they gave her comedic license to say some urban shit like, oh, you feel me? No, bitch, we don't feel you, but we get it. Decent looking sister, right? But then the twist was when she's in the elevator with with Chris Pratt's character. I think his name is Owen, and he asked her, so she's really worth it, huh? He's like, yeah. She says, yeah, I like redheads too. So clearly indicating that she's gay for particularly gingers. Always got to throw a twist into the black characters, man. The only cool black character was Ramsey. He was Dodge number one, but he was feeding information to Dr. Ian. So Laura Dern's character had to go in to break into the biogen to steal a sample of the super locust so she can expose the company for, nefarious reasons and shit. So it was good seeing the old heads come back. Yeah, the dinosaurs, stole the show. Like I said, don't let the critics and the Rotten Tomatoes. This was a good fun movie. It was loud. It was a good fun movie. So at the end, man, pretty much, is living side by side with dinosaurs at the end, and whatever storylines they decide to move forward with moving forward. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, she was just. It was too much. It was like, come on, sis. We don't act like this in front of white folk. We don't do like this in front of white folk. So then, Blue had Blue having the DNA of I believe a Mongolian dragon can reproduce asexually. So she had a little offspring that got kidnapped along with Maisie. Owen and the woman had to go track him and bring him back, and he promised Blue, I'll bring her back, and so it was a rescue mission. But I mean, like I said, it was entertaining. And then when the locusts were on fire, they're flying all over the island, setting shit on fire, and it was like very, very biblical. Like, ooh, okay, yeah. So all right, that was it.